Hello and welcome back to my channel. I thought today I would run through just a kind of sketchy beginner's guide on how to use Canva, because I've had a couple of people get templates now from my website and ask me questions on Instagram and YouTube, just wondering how Canva really works, because people are having a few difficulties with moving bits around, and I thought I would just go through the kind of bits and pieces that I use on a day-to-day basis and what I think somebody learning Canva for the first time should know. So I'm not going to go through everything that Canva has to offer, but if you're looking to get started with Canva or you're having a few problems, hopefully this video will help. So we're going to hop over to my laptop and I'm going to show you most of the stuff that I would use if I was beginning, and hopefully it will help you out, and I'll see you at the end. Alright, so let's start with the Canva homepage. So if you've loaded up Canva for the first time and you've signed in, you will be greeted with this page, which can look a little bit overwhelming to start off with, but I promise it is fine. So if we just start from the top and work down, I think that will be the easiest. So up here we've got the search bar, which will be really helpful for you if you're just starting with Canva. So you can search for anything. So let's say you're a social media manager and you want some Instagram templates, so you can literally type in Instagram and search it, and it will bring you all of the template examples that you could possibly imagine. And if you're a beginner designer, these are very helpful. One thing to note, if you're using free Canva, you can't use any with these crowns on them, but I would recommend upgrading to Canva Pro once you're a little bit more comfortable, because it does just unlock a new world. So coming back out of that and going back to home, on this left side you'll see you got projects, templates, brand, apps and Dreamlab. So if you're starting out, the things you need to know really are just templates and projects. So if we click into projects, this will just bring up everything you've ever designed in Canva. So I'll give you a sneak peek into some of the stuff I've been doing. But it's really helpful because it gives you recent designs. So if you've been working on something, close it down, open it back up, you can get in easy and find the designs you're working on. You have folders, so if you have a few designs you want to keep together and keep your space organized, you can create folders and just keep all of your designs in one place to find. And then designs is just everything you've ever done, so I've got loads and loads and loads and loads. So that's basically the only things you really need to know when starting with Canva. So templates, if you go onto here, it just gives you all the templates you might need, but honestly, if you're just looking for stuff and you know what you're trying to design, the search is so much quicker than using this template feature, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. But saying that, let's just get into the editor and pick one of these. So let's go with this YouTube thumbnail and crack on. Alright, so when you open up the editor, this is what it should look like. You'll be greeted with either a blank page, something that looks like this, or you'll be greeted with whatever template you picked up. And this is where you're going to be doing all of your designing. So everything is individually placed, and you can just get on with designing some stuff. But what are we going to design? That is the real question. So if you look over to the left here, you have design, elements, text, brand, uploads, draw. A lot of this stuff, especially down here, you won't need. But if we just start with design, this one helped me so much when I was a beginner on Canva. So basically, this will give you all of the templates that have ever been created on Canva for whatever ratio you're in. So currently we're doing YouTube thumbnails, but if you were doing Instagram posts or an ebook cover or something like that, it will give you templates for everything you could possibly imagine. And when I started, it was so good for getting inspiration and just getting comfortable with the program. So if you've just started and you don't know what you're supposed to be designing, these are always really good. Oh, this one's very cool. Put this in. So then if you just click one, it will just add it to the page. One thing to note is if you've already got a design and then you click to put another design in, it will sometimes override it. So just be careful to have a new page before you click on a design, or otherwise you might lose what you had. But you can always Control Z and get it back if that's not what you want. But for this tutorial, it doesn't really matter. So we've got this good vibes now. So after the templates, after you found something good, it's time to add some more elements in. So if we click over here onto elements, this is where you'll spend the majority of your time in Canva. So this has basically everything you could possibly imagine. So we've got shapes, graphics, AI generators, stickers, photos, videos, audio, charts, tables, frames, loads of stuff, right? So it could be a little bit overwhelming on what to use, but I do have other videos on some of the elements I use because I'm more of a graphic designer rather than a social media manager, but there is so many good elements that you can try. So let's just go into shapes. So this is all of the shapes that Canva has. So if you're looking to do more vector work, this is always helpful, and the lines are good. And if you want to bring one of these in, you literally just click on it and then it will appear in the editor, and then you can move it around. You can make it bigger and smaller. You can change the color up here. So let's make it blue, and then we can just drag it here, bring this in, try something out. Look at that, beautiful. And then if you see, if I click off, it is ahead of the mountains. So if I just click on this and go over to these 3 dots on the side and go to position, you can have all of the layers in the editor, so you can change things around and make it look good. And you can also arrange here, so if I wanted to move this all the way to the back, I can do that, or move forward, and it's very helpful. So after shapes, we get into graphics, which is a big one. So what do I want to add to this image? Let's say lens flare. Let's get some lights on this image. So we can type in lens flare, and then it will generate everything that could be to do with lens flare that they have on Canva. So we've got graphics, photos, videos, audio. So at the top here is pretty easy to follow. So graphics will give you PNGs and JPEGs that you can use. So let's just click one of these and then move it here. And then super easy. And then if we wanted a photo of some lights, we can also get this in. Just drag and drop, and it's super easy to follow, and there's not a big learning gap, but there is a lot of stuff to Canva that you will have to get used to. But that is kind of the initial how to use elements kind of stuff. So then if we go over to text, you can add your own text in, or you can just add normal text, and it will give you some templates as well if you're not sure what type of font you're after or anything like that. So let's just get business journal in here, click that in, and it, as everything else, it will just pop right in. And then we can drag this down and we can put it up here, for example, and it's all pretty self-explanatory. So up at the top here, with everything, if I click on this or this, it will come up with this bar, and this is basically your workshop bar. So it will give you the font first on text. So if you wanted to change the fonts, it gives you tons and tons and tons of stuff to choose from. It'll give you popular fonts. So say we wanted it to be League Spartan instead, we can change the font, and it's easy like that. If we want to change the size, we can come over here and say we want 21. Maybe that's a bit small. We can upscale or downscale that. If we want to change the color of the text, we can come over here and we can change it to a white, orange, yellow, any color really. You have your color wheel here, so you can change the colors as you please, which is very helpful. We also have alignment, so you can do to the left, to the right, in the middle, classic stuff that you get on any other editing software. And you also have transparency, so if we do 50%, it will make it transparent. And effects, there are quite a few effects in Canva, and I won't go through them here, but you can change how it looks, so you can bring an outline onto it, or you can make it neon, or you can glitch it. It's very cool and very easy to use. So I think that's kind of the main elements that you will need to know when starting out. I think the only other thing that is quite useful to know is if we get a photo, let's just do house or like hut. So let's go to a photo of a house. Obviously it's not going to look good, but if we bring this in, the last thing that I'm going to show you is the bar is different for photos and elements. So the edit bar is very good to know and use. and it gives you so many different options if you're trying to edit photos. So if you have premium, you can remove the background here, or you can magic erase and magic drag. If you want to change the brightness and contrast and stuff, you just come into adjust and you can change everything in here. If you come back, you have effects for the photo, so you can add a shadow. The shadow will do it for the whole image, so just be careful when you do that. But if you add a shadow in, this is what it will look like. Looks pretty good. So if we come back to edit, the rest of them, duotones, blur, all self-explanatory and all stuff I would recommend you just experiment with. But I hope this sets you off on a good path through Canva and how to get started. I think I've managed to get through everything I wanted to get through, and it has been a little bit here and there because I am just free-flowing this. I don't have a script, but I thought it would be a more personal experience if I just run you through it as I go and just show you the stuff that I would use. So that is the beginner's tutorial. I hope it's helped, and I hope you've learned a little bit on how to use Canva a bit better. But if you do have any questions, obviously leave them in the comments, or DM me on Instagram, or email me, and I will happily help you out with any of your Canva concerns. But I know this video is a little bit sketchy, but I was doing it live, so I hope it's been clear enough to get the message across on how to use bits and pieces of Canva. And it's stuff that I wish I knew when I started, because I went in completely blank and didn't look at any tutorials. And hopefully it will help you out and help you make great designs. So I can't wait to see what you guys come up with, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.